Hello students, this is Rudrodeep sir, and today I am going to give you a lesson on the topic the structure of atom. Okay, the very fourth chapter of your syllabus of class 9. Okay, so let us start with the very first topic of this chapter, which is charged particles in matter. Charged particles in matter. Okay, so for a very long time, scientists were unable to determine what are the charged particles that are present in an atom. But nowadays we know total three particles are there in an atom. We have learned earlier in previous classes. Those particles are protons, electrons, and neutrons. Okay, neutrons. So these three particles are there in an atom, and among these three particles, protons are positively charged, electrons are negatively charged, and neutrons are neutral in nature. So these are the charged particle, protons and electrons present in an atom. Their mass may be not same, but their charged are equal and opposite. Okay, opposite, equal and opposite. This is a very important statement. Protons and electrons have equal in magnitude charge, and but the nature of the charge is opposite. Protons are positive, electrons are negative. Okay, clear? Now the thing is, let us discuss what is the structure of an atom. What should be the structure of an atom? That is a very important question. This question is being asked for many years to the scientists, but scientists were unable to give the proper answer. But many scientists have given different aspects, and among them the first scientist who has explained the structure of an atom is Thomson. The scientist Thomson. Okay, his name is Thomson. So today we are going to learn about Thomson's model, atomic model. Thomson's atomic model. Thomson's atomic model. Thomson was a scientist, J. Thomson. Okay, and according to his model, the atom should be compared with a watermelon. He compared an atom, the structure of an atom, with a watermelon. You must have seen you must have seen a watermelon. If you just bisect or dissect a watermelon, you will see these kind of things: a circular base, where the seeds are being dispersed. Seeds are being dispersed. So he compared watermelon with the atom, and according to him, the whole base or the circular face, he compared the circular face with proton or large, not proton. In his time, protons and electrons were not discovered. In his time, protons and electrons were not discovered. That is why he compared the whole base with the positively charged particle, and according to him the negative particles are dispersed over the positive base. These are the seeds. He compared the seeds with the negative particles. So this was the first model of an atom that was given by J. Thomson. Okay, what we have learned from this model, we have learned that the whole thing is positive and negative particles are dispersed over the whole positive thing. Okay, now the main thing is what, the main thing is, according to him, the number of seeds or number of negative ions together will be equal and opposite to the whole positive charge. According to him, it was described. Okay, but this model was very much absurd, and that is why it was abandoned after a few years. Because why? A new model came up, which model name is Rutherford's model of an atom. Okay, this model, there is nothing in this model. This model is very much absurd. Okay, there is nothing. Actually, what are the drawbacks of Thomson's model? Number one, he couldn't explain the existence of protons and electrons. He couldn't explain the existence of neutrons. If the whole atom is made up of positive and negative particles only, then what about the neutrons? He couldn't explain that. That is why we needed a different aspect, and the different aspect was given by Rutherford. Okay. Rutherford, the full name of Rutherford is Ernest Rutherford. Okay, and Rutherford explained many things, and he has given a model of an atom by performing a simple experiment, and though that experiment is known as Rutherford's scattering experiment of scattering of alpha particles by a gold foil. Scattering experiment of Rutherford's by a gold foil. So he took a gold foil, and he heated the gold foil with few alpha particles. First, let me tell you what are alpha particles. What are alpha particles? There are some atoms or some elements which are which are radioactive in nature, and those radioactive elements releases alpha particles. The mass of alpha particles is same as helium atom. The mass of alpha particle is same as helium atom. Okay, so he actually took helium atoms, but helium has two protons, two electrons, and two neutrons. But in alpha particle, it has two protons, zero electrons, and two neutrons. And we all know the mass is defined by number of protons and neutrons only. So that is why I said that alpha particles and helium atom are of same mass, but number of electrons are different in different these two things, these two species. One helium, there is two electron, and in alpha particle there is zero electrons. Okay, so two electrons are less in alpha particles. So he took what? Plenty of alpha particles, and he heated these alpha particles. Actually, threw these alpha particles with towards a gold foil. Towards a gold foil. Let me just, if gold foil is looks like this. Gold foil is looks like this, and alpha particles are coming from this side. Alpha particles. Okay, alpha particles. So what he has seen? He has seen three observations. He actually recorded three observations. Three observations are: number one, most of the alpha particles passed through the gold foil. Most of the alpha particles passed through the gold foil. See, passed through the gold foil. It's very easy. They passed through the gold foil. So most of the alpha particles around, I will tell you later. Okay, I will give you the information. He has recorded one or two alpha particles are being deflected. One or two alpha particles are being deflected like this. It was going straight, now it changed its direction. Deflected. Okay, one or two alpha particles deflected. Okay, so these are the alpha particles which are deflected, and he has seen that one alpha particle was there which which has gone straight and came back through the same path. Through the same path, it means it went in that, like that way. It bounced back from here and came back through the same path in that way, and came back through same path. So these are the three observations he recorded. and from these three observation he actually concluded three results. Number one result is, first conclusion is, most of the alpha particles passed through the gold foil. What does it prove? It proves that the atoms, the most of the spaces in an atom are vacant. That is why it is passing through them, na. If alpha particle was hit to you, actually if I hit an alpha particle to a human body, it may or may not pass through them. Why? Because the number of pores are most, our body is made up of many substances and our body is not porous. Okay, but gold foil is porous. Not only porous, most of the, if I throw 10,000s of alpha particles, 9,997 alpha particles will pass through them. Two alpha particles will just change their direction, and only one alpha particle will be there which will come back to the same path, through the same path. Okay, from the first result we conclude that most of the spaces in an atom is vacant, or is vacant, or is vacant actually. Okay, from the second observation, changing direction, we conclude that actually alpha particles are positively natured, na. So positively natured particles should always be attracted towards negatively charged particles, and because of that these alpha particles will be attracted towards the electron present in the outermost shell of the atoms, gold atoms, and because of this attraction they will change their direction. Okay, and the third conclusion was that, was what, it just went came back through the same path. It proves that it must have collided with a heavy thing which is called nucleus. Nucleus is the heaviest part of an atom. It collided with the nucleus and bounced back towards the same direction. So he invented the position of electron, and he invented the position of nucleus, the mass of an atom. The mass, total mass, the original mass of an atom is what? The mass of an atom is at the center of the center of the atom, and the electrons are revolving around the mass. That was the proof of Rutherford's experiment. Now let us come to, I'm just reading out the conclusions. Okay, most of the fast moving alpha particle passed through the gold foil, that I already told you. Second observation was some of the alpha particles were deflected by the foil by small angles. And number 3, surprisingly, 1 out of every 12,000 particles appeared to be rebound. It rebound means what? It will come back through the same path. Okay, now what are the conclusion? Number 1, most of the space inside an atom is empty, because most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil without getting deflected. Number 2, very few particles were deflected from their path, indicating that the positive charge of the atom occupies very little space. Okay, and the number 3 is very small fraction of alpha particles were deflected by 180 degree. This one, 180 degree. Why? Because indicating that all the positive charge and mass of the gold atom were concentrated in a very small volume within the atom. This one, it means the nucleus. Okay, so these are the things which we have got. Okay, now what are the drawbacks of Rutherford's experiment? The one and only drawback of Rutherford experiment was, he told that the nucleus consists of the positive particles. Very good, it was truly actually correct. Okay, the in the nucleus protons are present, and the electrons are moving around the nucleus. Clear? But there is a mistake. The mistake is what? If you compare the whole thing with a mortine, মশা তাড়ানোর ধূপ. Okay, if you compare this, you can see this whole circle is coming at the center. So according to Rutherford, it was stated that the electrons, while revolving around the nucleus, were what? Are losing energy, and because of that the electrons will continuously rotate around the nucleus, and after losing energy it will come close to the nucleus, and at the end the nucleus will the electrons will fall on the nucleus. Okay, but this is a fact which fails to explain the existence of an atom, because the discovery of atom, actually the atoms, the total world is made up of atoms, and the age of world is millions and millions of years. Okay, and that is why in that time so far all the atoms would be vanished, because if all electrons fall on the nucleus there would be no existence of atom, so we wouldn't be here, would be dead. Simple. This was wrong, and this was corrected by a new scientist whose name was Niels Bohr. Okay, Rutherford has given us many things, but this is the only thing he couldn't explain. Okay, he was a very good scientist, but explained Niels Bohr explained what Rutherford had missed. Okay, according to Niels Bohr, he said what at the center nucleus will be there, and it is positively charged thing, and the electrons will rotate around the nucleus in definite orbits. Okay, in definite orbits, and each orbits are having different energy levels. Okay, the first shell is known as K shell, this one. Okay, then L, M, N, O, and like that P, Q. Total 7 orbits are there in an atom till now. Okay, so these are the orbits, and this theory was given by Niels Bohr, and according to him, electrons are revolving around the nucleus through these definite degenerate shells. Okay, and in that way electrons are rotating. Clear? So electrons are revolving around the nucleus in definite shells, and the nucleus is the mass, is holding the mass carrying protons and neutrons. It's very easy. This was given by Niels Bohr. This was told by Niels Bohr. And here where today's lesson is ends. Okay, and next day we are going to discuss how electrons are distributed in a nucleus. Okay, from there we are going to start.